All right. We are live again for another and the final summer pop-up series of The Coaches Are In. I'm Dr. Cherita Weatherspoon, the creator of The Coaches Are In, also business strategist and alignment coach and operations extraordinaire. And this evening I have with me Danita Mosley of DLM Presents. And I'm going to let Danita tell you a little bit about herself and what she's doing here tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am Danita Mosley, founder of DLM Presents. We are a hosting and events management company whereby we provide event services as well as management services, as well as hosting services to corporations and organizations. But tonight, I am the interviewer of the incomparable illustrious creator of The Coaches Are In. We're going to learn more about Dr. Cherita Weatherspoon, and I know you're anxious to do that, so we're going to jump right in. She is a business strategist, alignment coach, and operations expert. Dr. Cherita, can you tell us a little bit more about those things? That's a lot, and we need to dig deep to see what that's all about and how we can utilize those services. So if you can just start by defining business strategist, alignment coach, and operations expert.
All right. So, being a business strategist, I really like focus on developing, helping CEOs develop strategic goals and how to implement the things that need to happen to actually accomplish those goals. Although I'm not necessarily the person who's going to implement, that's typically their team. But really helping them to identify what those goals are and what are the things they need to have, resources, including human resources, but other resources to actually set those things in motion so they can accomplish those goals. Um, as an alignment coach, I really work with my clients to help them identify what alignment looks like for them. And we're talking about spiritual alignment, lifestyle alignment, and then operational alignment. So that means, we're figuring out in your life just, what do you want your business to look like? And how do you want it to support the lifestyle that you desire? And that doesn't necessarily mean, that laptop lifestyle entrepreneur. I work from the beach, not like that's not really what we're talking about, but really identifying, what your priorities are and what's important to you, and being connected, to your creator and ensuring that you're doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. And then what do you need to set up in your business to actually support those things? Because I found that a lot of Black women CEOs, which is who I work with, when they hit a certain point in their business, it's like you start off doing your business, but as you do it, like you change, right? What's important to you changes, maybe even who you want to serve and how you want to serve them changes, right? But you still got this version of your business that no longer aligns with who you are, but you're making money. Right? And you don't necessarily want to stop making money so you can make the shifts that you need to make. So I actually assist them in moving through that process of getting realigned, redeveloping offers if they need to do that, and then looking at the operation side of their business and making sure they have everything in place in their business so that they have the business that they love, and that business also allows them to love their life and be able to enjoy their life.
Mm.
Yeah, so that alignment coaching operations
Yes.
all combines for that. Yeah.
Now, that's speaking to me, right? As a former business owner for another business that I had, I can definitely relate to making money, but not really being aligned with what it was I was making money doing. So that is so important. I want to talk about how um, who do you typically work with, right? So you come up with the strategy, or you help the entrepreneur come up with the strategy, and then make sure that it's aligned
Mhm.
with who they are, and then give them the tools for the organizational piece, right?
Mhm.
So do you typically work with startups? Do you work with large businesses? Do you work with, I heard Black female entrepreneurs, so that's important, but people need to know who who it is that's your target customer.
Yeah, so primarily Black women CEOs is who that is who my heart is towards. That is who I believe I was put on this earth to help.
Mm,
And not that I don't necessarily turn other people away, but that would be more like one-on-one engagements. Like I probably would not let people outside of that group come into a group that's focused on Black women CEOs. So I like to create a safe space, right? For my sisters. So what that boils down to. Um, but in terms of kind of level of business or length and time and business and size of business and all of that, so most of the women that I work with, they are either solopreneurs or they have very small teams. But depending on whether they're coming for, like, I'm launching a new offer or I'm launching my business and I want to make sure I build it right from the start,
mhm.
or I'm making money, I'm making multiple six figures, but I'm not happy
Yeah.
and I don't want to start over from scratch, but I don't know how to make these shifts while I still generate income.
Mhm.
So those are the two like primary groups that I work with on the launch aspect. A lot of that is one-on-one because I feel like they can get um, to the end result a lot more quickly than doing it in a group setting, kind of with that hand holding. On the other end, there's a combination of coaching and consulting that happens there. And then there is this higher tier for that CEO that like maybe at the million plus mark, who is really looking for a strategic advisor, like
Mm,
someone who will know their business and be in support of their business, like love their business like they do, but they don't have the personal risk associated with the business. So
mm,
somebody who can really look at it and tell you, here's what's working, here's what's not, here's what we have to do. And because I don't have, while you're paying me, I'm not depending like on a paycheck from you, like for my lifestyle, right? So I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell
mm.
you what you need, right? And also providing that space because there are some things as a CEO that you probably should not share with your team. You
Mhm.
know, there are some things that you may not want to share, like with your spouse or your partner. Like you want to have some boundaries there, but you still need somebody to talk to be a sounding board, to talk through challenges and problems that person isn't impacted by. So
Mm,
they can be objective, right?
mhm.
So playing that role as well, and that's something that is done more on a consulting basis, one-on-one, like higher level engagement.
Okay. So I'm imagining that I think you've been doing this for a long time. How many years?
So I launched my business in officially 2017.
Mhm.
I've been doing coaching and consulting for much longer than that. I
That's
was doing it before I knew that's actually what I was doing, if that makes sense. So I would get people who would ask me questions about stuff. I don't even know why they were asking me questions. It's
Mhm.
just like, I guess it was just God's nod. Like I had this thing in my heart and I was preparing for it. I was studying, I was learning,
Mhm.
building all of that, but hadn't really taken action. But people would come to me about like business advice and things like that. And
Mhm.
because of my education and background, like I had a lot of answers,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then it was just, but I didn't really know anybody who looked like me who was doing that kind of stuff
Right.
to make a living, right?
Right.
So it's just like I like this thing, but I don't know that I can make anything out of it, right?
Right. Right.
And then, I lost my job in 2016 and had a decision to make. Am I going to stick with higher ed administration, or am I going to go do this thing that I want to do? And I decided to go do this thing that I want to do. And the business has had a number of iterations over
Mhm.
the years. So as I got into it and started doing it, I developed additional skills. I learned more about myself, what I liked, what I didn't like, who I wanted to work with, who I didn't want to work with, and all of that. And
Mhm.
so the work I actually did changed over the years. So I started off as a life coach,
Mhm.
helping people, to kind of get clear on their purpose. Now, that is still very much woven into the work that I do.
Mhm.
I do it in a different way now.
So I'm imagining that you were your first client, actually,
Yeah, that's a good
right?
way to look at it. And a lot of what I've built in terms of programs and services, and even the books that I've written have
Mhm.
really all come out of like my own experience and processes that I've had to work through to get the clarity that I needed or to build the confidence that I
Mhm.
needed.
So I asked the question because I know for the coaches are in of which you created, you probably created that because you saw that you couldn't be everything to everybody. But I'm just guessing. So you tell me, why did you create the coaches are in?
So that's part of it. It's another way to reach people, have impact, because not everyone is going to become a coaching client, right? And even if they wanted to, do you really want everybody who wants to work with you? Like, do you want to work with all of those
Right,
people? Maybe not, right?
right.
But you still want to have an impact, and you want to have the greatest impact, that you possibly can. So launching the show is a way to do that, to really just be able to reach more people, who I may not otherwise like ever get to see or meet in person or talk to or anything like that. Um, but also as a way to shine a light on other Black women experts and
Mm,
CEOs. So, I could have launched the coaches in, right, and just done it
right.
myself and just been the host of the show, but I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to bring along other Black co-hosts with me and give them some exposure, as well, more exposure. I don't want to imply that they don't already have any, but
Mm,
just
right,
give them
right.
more exposure. So I brought on co-hosts, with me. And then, we also feature other experts, so other coaches or therapists or consultants who have expertise in areas that we don't have,
Mhm.
to balance it out. So, there's this rich conversation that happens because we have all of these like women who are contributing to the conversation and sharing from their expertise to help other women really level up in
Mm.
their life, whether it's in business, whether it's career, whether it's their relationships or money. Like we're touching on all of those different areas.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and then what I'm excited about for the upcoming season,
Well,
season.
before you tell them about the upcoming season, right? This is what I need folks to know that the first season was good. It was fire, right? But they may not have watched the first season. So
uh,
can you just give them a brief synopsis of what you featured in the first season?
So in the first season, obviously it was myself and my three co-hosts in the first season, and we always did our coach talk where we had the viewer question, we read the viewer question, and then we responded to it, and it
Yes.
is like real, raw, relatable, transparent, authentic conversation. A couple of those times, I had to leave the show and like go tell my husband, like before he watched it, that I talked about him in the show. So he wouldn't be surprised.
Right, right, right.
So it's not just, like these women on this like stage just like
Right,
telling people what to do. It's not that at all. It really
right.
is, let us hear what's going on with you. We are going to share some expertise, but then
Yes.
we're also going to share from our experiences as well. And the whole idea from that is really just, it's almost like a conversation with your girlfriends, even though you're not sitting next to us. It's just like that's how we're talking and engaging, right?
Yes.
We're being real about our own challenges and struggles and things like that as well, all for the benefit of the sisterhood. And we did feature a few guest experts. We had a money expert on in season one. We also had she's a life coach, but she weaves in some other kind of, I'm gonna use the word spiritual
Mhm.
tactics into the work that she does. And
Mhm.
she also does like relationship things as well. And then we had a therapist as well that
Yes.
featured. So just really good conversation.
I love that. I love that because each of you have your own experiences that you're pulling from. And so you have your own colored perspective to each thing. And the audience, you, the viewer, get a chance to pull from each of those things and say, hey, I never knew that that was a possibility. I may even want to try that for myself or share that with someone else. So you guys make sure you go back and you get caught up on that season 1. But what's coming up for season 2, Dr. Sharita?
Yeah, so season 2, I'm really excited about. We will be back, obviously, with our viewer questions that I think will always be a part of the show. Um, we will be in the same room for most of the episodes, so it's going to be
Nice.
a different vibe and energy.
Yes.
um, we will still have our guest experts, but we're also going to be adding in this season, we're featuring some Black owned businesses.
Nice.
We're going to check those out. And then we're also featuring some Black women who are giving back to the community in
Nice.
different ways.
Yes.
So just expanding. But like I said, it's all about, shining a light, but then also giving a helping hand. And we're doing that, through our voices and our words by sharing expertise and experience versus, physically going and doing a hand up. And we just want to make sure that we can impact, women, not even just across the United States, but really all over the world. And hopefully they're able to get something, from each of those conversations that helps them in an area of their life, either, whether it's building their confidence, letting them know what is possible, helping them to recognize that whatever your situation is right now, it's not going to always be that way.
Right.
And giving them, motivation, inspiration,
I
and
love
just empowering them.
Seriously, I love that because we are breaking the narrative behind the Black woman, right?
Mhm.
The Black woman is often seen as either angry or distant or
Right.
doesn't want to help, others, doesn't lift their sisters up. And that's not true.
It's not.
Right. It's a myth. It's a myth.
It
And
is.
you're breaking that with the coaches are in and many of the other projects that you have done in the past. Tell them a little bit about some of the other projects you have done that I was a part of as well.
Okay. So we have the Love Letters to My Girls anthology project. Goodness, what was is that 3 years now?
Yeah, it was
Like,
2020.
COVID,
Yes,
I
in the
remember
midst of COVID.
that. Yes. So for that project, it was really just a God seed that had been planted a number of years ago when my daughter, who is now 25, was like about 4 or 5 years old. So literally a couple of decades ago. Um, and just wanting to write a book for her
Mhm.
filled with love letters from her mom to her that would inspire and empower her and help her remember who she is in spite of what may be going on in the world or with her in her life. And just life happened, and I
Mhm.
never wrote it, but the idea was there, the seed was planted. And then literally, um and so I guess it would have been November of 2019,
Mhm.
that God was just really like it's time to write the book, and like you don't have to be the only one to write it.
That's right.
Right? And it was just like, okay, let me call on my sisters to contribute to this. And I put the call out, and we have had over 100 Black women and girls
Mhm.
participate in the project, writing love letters to other Black women and girls.
Yes.
Just to pour into them. And the funny thing is, the majority of them I did not know. I had no prior relationship or interaction with. So it was really just they heard about the project and they loved the idea of it and wanted to be a part of it. So that's one of the projects. Another project is a podcast that I had, Women Who Launch and Lead. So we have 3 episodes. I mean, not 3 episodes, 3 seasons out there. So you can actually, even though it's not running live now, those episodes are still available to be listened to at womenwholaunchandlead.com.
Yes.
Check it out. Interviews with Black women who launch and who lead. I'm sharing from their experiences, challenges that they faced, how they, managed through different pivots and shifts in their life, and sharing, just good tips and strategies. Again, it's very empowering. And then I have my, Girl Go Get Your Life book. Walks women through this process, these 13 steps, to really help them go after what they want in their lives. And you can get that on Amazon. And then we have my journal for Black women entrepreneurs, the 52-week journal to help them, get in alignment and gain confidence and stand in the power of who they are. And it's a biblically based journal. But we have it set up where, like there's a devotional, like a reading that is the focus for the week. And each day there's a writing prompt that helps you to really process through what you just read so that becomes real to you in your life. Because it's hard to be in alignment when you're not clear on who you are.
Yes. Let me tell you, viewer, she's speaking about all of these projects, and I think out of the many that you've spoken, I've been a part of just about all. And I can tell you that it's been super impactful for me. I mentioned earlier in the show that I, walked away from a business that was making me great money, but I wasn't in alignment with it. And it was from working with Dr. Cherita in 2020 that kind of was the launch pad for me. So I can tell you that what she's talking about is real. She's real. She's relatable. She's raw. She told me things that I didn't necessarily want to hear, but it was important for me to know and to get in alignment so that I can move forward. So I am excited about this next season of The Coaches Are In, because I know you're gonna just keep pulling things all together, keep leveling us up, keep inspiring us. Where can somebody who would want to work with you as I did, how can they reach you?
Well, they can message me on social media, Instagram or Facebook at Coach Cherita, or my personal page. I'll respond either way. They can check out my website at CheritaWeatherspoon.com as well. And essentially what we would do is connect and have a conversation and see, where you're at. What are you challenged with? Where is it that you're trying to go? Because obviously, of course, you got to determine, can I actually help you?
Right.
Because if I can't, then we won't be able to work together.
Right.
Not everybody operates that way. Some people just won't take your money regardless. So now,
yes, they will.
Can I actually help you with what your challenge is? And then how can I do that? And presenting, whatever those options may be, and helping you to determine what the best choice or next step is for you. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. So I hope that you viewers were able to learn a little bit more about Dr. Cherita Weatherspoon, learn a lot more about what she does and who she is, and learn about The Coaches Are In. I implore you to go back to season 1 and binge watch season 1 so that you will be all caught up and ready for season 2. Dr. Cherita, you want to say any last words?
No, I just reiterate, season 2 is coming up in October. You can watch us on YouTube at The Coaches Are In. You can go to our website, thecoachesarein.com, if you're interested in being featured as a guest expert for season 3 or beyond, because we're already booked for season 2, you can fill out the form there. If you'd like to be a guest on the show in terms of actually coming on to share whatever your question is and having it answered by the coaches, you can do that, or just submit it, and we never have to say your name, show your face, or anything like that. You can submit that form. Or if you want to just, recognize someone who's doing good work in the community, all of that information is available at thecoachesrn.com for you to kind of engage with us. And you can click on there as well to watch the replays, so recordings, the reruns from season 1. We're really excited about season 2. It's going to be our best one yet. And then season 3 will be the next best one.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Cherita. I really enjoyed interviewing you today, and I am looking out for season 2.
Thank you, Danita. I appreciate you. All right. And Matt, did you tell people how they can contact you?
Oh, yeah. Let me let them know how they can contact you.
Yes.
All right. So you can reach me on Facebook at Danita Mosley. If you message me, I will respond. You can also reach me at www.dlmpresents.com. You can also reach me on Instagram at DLM_presents. And you can reach me on TikTok at DLM Presents as well.
TikTok. I'm gonna have to go check you out.
I typically use TikTok for you to get to know me, right? So I don't do a whole lot of business stuff on TikTok. But if you wanted to learn about me a little bit, the kind of things that I like to do and who I love, like my dog and stuff, you can go there and check me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All of these things are they're not private. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in to interview the interviewer.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
No worries at all.
All right. So for those of you tuning in, be sure to connect with the Coaches RN for season 2.
Season 2.
We'll see you then.
Yes.